Hello to the DNC Native American Caucus. It is such an honor to join you all today. The Trump administration also resisted letting important tribal businesses access the Paycheck Protection Program, something that Charisse was a leader in pushing back on and deserves real credit on that. You know, this is all wrong, just deep down wrong. And it turns out that the American people agree that it's wrong. Deb's and my op-ed cited some really important polling by the think tank Data for Progress, and it showed strong bipartisan support for policies like increasing funding for IHS, holding the federal government responsible for upholding treaty obligations, and allowing tribal nations to interact directly with the federal government instead of having to go through states. Those are not only the right things to do, they are also the smart things to do. Joe Biden understands the pandemic's toll on Indian country, and I know he will do the right thing and the smart thing. Now, Joe has promised a dramatic increase in funding for IHS and making that funding mandatory. That's a position that Deb and I have been pushing for, and I'm so pleased to know that in a Biden administration with Democrats leading in the House and in the Senate, it's going to become a reality. I've been working hard with Deb to ensure that the federal government honors its promises to Indian country. And I know the Biden-Harris administration will work hard to honor those promises too. Joe Biden also understands the importance of respecting tribal sovereignty and tribal lands. I just want to give you one example that hits really close to home for me. Right in the middle of this pandemic, while we were in lockdown, while people across our region were sick and dying, while offices were closed and crowds couldn't gather, while nurses and other first responders were searching for personal protective gear, the Trump administration very quietly moved to disestablish the reservation of the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, one of the two federally recognized nations here in Massachusetts. Deb and I joined an amicus brief supporting the Mashpee in their court case. And I also want to take a minute here just to acknowledge and to thank Ambassador Keith Harper, the Secretary of the DNC Native American Caucus, whom you're going to hear from, I think, a little later today. I want to thank him and his colleagues for their excellent work on drafting the brief. I am grateful for their help, very grateful for their help. But this should not have happened at all. The Mashpee's land was taken into trust during the Obama-Biden administration, and now their reservation is being threatened by the Trump administration. Joe Biden has made clear where he will be. He is already a vocal advocate for the Mashpee. He has also advocated for a clean Carcheri fix, which is, I know, very important to many tribal nations, including the Wampanoag tribe of Gayhead-Aquina, the other federally recognized tribe here in Massachusetts. The Mashpee won a major, hard-fought victory in court back in June to save their trust land. But what happened earlier this month? The Trump administration decided to appeal that ruling and continue the fight. Donald Trump has fought hard to strip the Mashpee of their ancestral homelands, and I say it's time to have a president who will fight even harder, but this time to protect Indian country. With Joe Biden in office, Indian country will not need to worry about that kind of disrespect any longer. Joe Biden understands and will honor the United States' moral and legal obligations to tribal nations. As I've said about Joe, he will always tell you where he stands. Well, he has told us where he stands. He stands with Indian country. So Deb and I are continuing our work on our legislation to honor America's promises to the tribal nations, and we're going to keep pushing for a nation-to-nation relationship between tribal nations and the federal government. We will stay in this fight. And with Joe Biden in the White House and a Democratic majority in the House and the Senate, we're going to have an opening unlike any in modern history. So I really hope that you will join us in fighting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and in supporting the Democrats so that we can all continue our work for Indian country. It is more important now than ever. And again, thank you so much for inviting me to be with you today. Thank you, Ryan, for having me here. I'm really grateful. And I can't be with you in person, but I want you to know my heart is with you.